We're all going to have moments when we're thrust into the spotlight. Sometimes you're not even going to have to go look for it. It's just going to find you. And we've all seen in our culture especially, we've seen actors, musicians, and athletes all deal with their time in the spotlight really poorly. And so it matters to God how we deal with our time in the spotlight. Can we be faithful during our time in the limelight? When everybody's looking toward us for the answers and with all the respect that we're getting, and during our time in the limelight, can we be faithful? Let me show you how it's done. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 26 through 29. Paul says, "For consider your calling, brothers. Not many of you were wise according to worldly standards. Not many were powerful. Not many were of noble birth. But God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. God chose what is low and despised in the world, even things that are not, to bring to nothing things that are, so that no human being might boast in the presence of God." What's he saying there? To the Corinthians, he's saying, guys, go back and remember your baptism and who you were before you met Jesus. Were you important? Were you the noblemen in Corinth? Were you the wealthy guys in Corinth? Were you the guys that were well respected? Absolutely not. You were nobodies, right? You were nobodies. That's who you still are. Even though now you're inside of Christ and you've inherited salvation, you're still a nobody inside of Christ. And he loves you, and he can use you, and he wants to use you. But you're still a nobody. And I think during our time in the limelight, we need to remember who we are. Remember who God has used in the past to accomplish his will. You remember when Elijah's in the wilderness? He's just told Ahab that it's not going to rain for 3.5 years. And so he has to run away from Ahab because Jezebel's going to kill him. And so he runs. God tells him to run to this creek, this river called the Kidron River. And so he runs there, and eventually it starts drying up, but he's hungry. And so God sends ravens. God uses ravens to bring food to Elijah. Does he need me? Absolutely not. He used ravens to accomplish his will. He's going to use a widow to accomplish his will later in Elijah's life. A widow who doesn't even have enough money to feed herself and her son. A starving widow is going to be God's instrument. So am I important? Absolutely not. And in Numbers chapter 22, God's even going to use a donkey to accomplish his will. One of his prophets by the name of Balaam isn't doing what God wants him to do, and he's on the road and he's on his donkey, and so God stops the donkey, and no matter how hard Balaam whips the donkey won't move, and God gives the donkey a voice, and the donkey finally gets Balaam to see where he was wrong. Go back and read the story sometime. It's Numbers chapter 22. But God uses a donkey to get done what he wants to get done. To accomplish his will, God uses a donkey. And so in the grand scheme of things, am I that important? Absolutely not. He can use whatever and whoever he wants to accomplish his will. No matter my talents, no matter my gifts, no matter how important I think I am to his kingdom and to him, I'm not that important. He can accomplish whatever he wants to with whoever he wants to. Now, the important thing, the thing you need to understand before you stop listening is he wants to use you. You've got special gifts, specific talents that he's given you to use in his kingdom. And he wants you to use those gifts and those talents to bring glory and honor to him. But if you don't, he's still going to accomplish his will. You're just not going to get to be a part of it. He's still going to get done what he wants to get done. He's just going to leave you out of it. If I'm going to be faithful during my time in the spotlight, I need to remember that I'm not that important. God can accomplish whatever he wants to with whoever he wants to. He's chosen to use me. And so during my time in the spotlight, all the glory, all the praise that I receive during my time in the spotlight, I need to shoot back. I need to deflect back to him. That's how I stay faithful during my time in the spotlight.